trained osteopath. We're in a functional movement class that involves movement in all three planes of motion, and those three planes of motion are key to the way the human body works.
It's a very interesting class. I'm actually a fitness instructor, so he was very good at kind of teaching you how your body works in kind of three different planes, and I was quite surprised of how we're just very conditioned to work in a single plane for the most part, and actually my classes are a little bit tailored for single plane motion, and we strengthen in one way or another, but we're really not combining things that really functionally helps us to not get injured.
One of the common problems I see in clinic is shoulder injuries coming from dysfunctional hips. If the hips don't move either to the side in the frontal plane, to the front and back in the sagittal plane, or even into rotation in the transverse plane, the shoulder on shoulder movements has to do more movement, and this predisposes it to get irritated or worn out. And what I found quite a lot was patients were coming to me with shoulder problems and they needed to be able to move their hips. I thought, well, rather than coming to me for one-on-one sessions and paying $105 a time, I'd get them to come to a class, enjoy a group environment, meet some more people, and do that weekly as opposed to whatever their budget could afford on one-on-one sessions. So we set up the functional movement classes to provide people with exercises that they need to do to loosen the hips up to help with injuries elsewhere in their body. So the movement class I offer gives a way for people to actually access these movements and practice them at home. I just want to explain what those three planes of movements are. So if we have a person here and they're leaning forwards, they're moving in the sagittal plane. And if they lean backwards, they're moving in the sagittal plane. If they lean to the side, they're moving in the frontal plane. And if they rotate either side, they're moving in the transverse plane. If I was to look over my shoulder to the left, I've initiated that movement with my eyes. However, I can also use my shoulders to be a driver and just turn my shoulders first. I can also use my hand to be a driver. Take my left hand above my head and I can use my hand to initiate the movement to the right. But if I leave my head still, I'm getting an S in my spine. Whereas if I use my head to lead that movement, I get a C shape in my spine.
First day was like, I wasn't sure, I was a little nervous about the movement class. And then some of the things he had us do had me shaking my head like, okay, let's try this out. But you know, the things that Ed did in that, I couldn't even move my arm over my head, and now it was completely back. It's just amazing. Wow, I had no idea even what an osteopath was until I got here, and now I'm a believer.